Hey there, guys. This is Joffrey with Guth Lawn Care. Hey, just coming at you here at the end of 2019, and I have a little year in review that I'm going to do. Compiled some video and some footage that I took, just some small little clips and mostly pictures here. But year in review of 2019. It was a roller coaster of a year. For the most part, extremely wet. However, we did have a dry spell in the center, and it was one of those years where I kind of feel like I lost a lot of time due to weather, more than any other year. Usually a wet year is wet all the way through. Usually a dry year is dry all the way through. This had both extremes, and it was not one like any other that I remember. Like I said, usually it's never both in one year. It's usually one or the other. And this one had both. I feel like it could have been a more productive year if it wasn't so rainy and if it wasn't so dry. And I guess that's just how it goes in this business. You never know what's going to happen. But all in all, it ended up being a good year. I do feel like there was time where profit was left on the table and I missed out on work because of it was being so wet or so dry. But you know what, it ended up being a very average year when it was all said and done. And I'm going to try to be positive about it and be thankful. You know, you got through it, made it through. I hope it's not like this again, but who knows. You just don't know. Each year's different, and that's what's so exciting about this business, but that's what's so tough about it too. But anyway, sit back, enjoy this footage here. Hopefully I can give you a little insight of how my year went, and look for exciting things in 2020. Hard to say, 2020. Wow. 2020. So I look forward to that. But here's a review of 2019, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. Okay, so here it is, beginning of 2019, and I'm out doing a cleanup. It was so warm and so nice, but it didn't last very long, of course. Here we go. Got some snow then within the next few weeks, and then it got bitter cold. This was beginning of February, I believe, or end of January, and the wind chill was about 50 below zero. That's where I was trying to see if I could take boiling water and you throw it in the air and it turns instantly to steam, and it worked. But then you can see during cold weather my dad had some trouble here. I was helping him. The well guy had to come out. He had froze up some pipes in there and they had to do some work. It's an old thing. But then we got into March and it was time to start working on the equipment a little bit. Grass is dormant, starting to slowly green up. You see some daffodils there blooming. This is, I believe, very first part of April, and I go out and I'm mowing there at the church. It's usually the first place I go, south facing. It's always the greenest for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it greens up earlier. It seems like than any other place. I think the building is so big it protects it, and some of the heat radiates off that brick. I honestly think that's part of why it stays so green during the winter. It just doesn't get the winter burn as much as some places do. But anyway, I was excited. You could hear the birds chirping, and it was so good to be out there and just to be working and feeling that spring rush. And that's when things start picking up and get crazy, of course. We know how that goes. But this was the first clip I had of springtime. And quickly, things started to turn real quick. There's daffodils popped up, and my wife says, hey, you got to get a picture of these girls in their Sunday dresses at Easter time, and that's what I did. I got it in the snow because it was nasty. And then the next thing we know, here comes the rain. I just got done mowing this yard here, guys. Anyway, you can see this creek here. You can see where the water came up to on the sides there. Smash the grass down. Usually there's only a good, I don't know, probably a foot in there at the most. But it is slowed down a lot now, I'm sure. But it was pretty deep. I imagine it was quite a ways up there. It's come across the road before. I don't know how bad it would have been this time, but anyway, we've had plenty of rain. We're gonna get more. See you guys. And there we go. So we had lots of rain. Grass was looking good. This is May. Here's what I did on a lot of days. Mowed in the rain. Had to clean out the decks. And here was the start of all the problems. So you guys might remember me talking about I had this Laser Z mower because I had so many issues with my mower this year. And it was just crazy and ridiculous. And my mower's in the shop probably 3 weeks. I won't get into all that, but more wet weather killed us. And, you know, here was some mulch work I did. It was later than usual because I could never get to it because it was constantly doing this right here. And, of course, we had some wind damage, too, as you can see this summer. And then back in the cemetery by me, lots of trees down. But here come the 4th of July. Weather was pretty nice. And then, boom, after that, you can see things started drying up and starting to get hot. Here's how the grass looked. I was trimming these bushes. But yeah, that's how it was. It was dry, so I was mostly just trimming bushes. But luckily, we had planned a vacation then for this time. There it is. Cumberland Falls in the Daniel Boone National Forest in Kentucky. Very loud.
Super loud.
Pretty awesome. Luckily, while I was on vacation, I had my buddy Chad, aka Frosty the Snowman, help me out a little bit. I made a video with him this summer. If you guys haven't seen that, look back at my videos and check it out. But anyway, he did a great job. And here we were vacationing in the Smokies because that's where my brother lives in Knoxville now. And this is what the grass looked like when we got back. But actually, that was fine. It was time for school to start. And then as we got back to school, actually my grandfather passed away, and this is one of my favorite pictures with him. And so that was kind of a hard time for us. But then, of course, it was raining again, and lots of rain, of course. Look at this. Went to a football game that night, and the game got canceled for lightning, and it was just nutty. Big rain came in that day, and here's a rain gauge showing in this next picture. I think we had like 6 inches, over 6 inches in places. But it was a good time to sow some grass seed, and then it was fall time, so here's some pretty trees. We had beautiful foliage this fall, some of the best I remember seeing, which was good for the fitting year. With all the rain, I guess it would have been. But Halloween came around, and here we had snow. Worst snow, most snow on Halloween, coldest ever on Halloween also. It was a record. It was a record. 32 degrees was the high, and almost 4 inches of snow. Record for Halloween for here. And we did have some beautiful just mums and burning bushes, and everything just looked nice. And actually, after that, we had maybe 1 or 2 more snows. Just light little things. But fall ended up being pretty good, really. It stayed mild real late. And into December now. Very nice weather. Actually, it made up kind of for what it was normal then, but I was able to get some cleanups done. This is actually around Thanksgiving time. That's after Thanksgiving. The grass is still looking really, really green. And that's one of the last cleanups I would have done, about the middle of December. And then now here, got a little bit dormant. Got a few more snows. This is actually Christmas morning, though. Beautiful. And now we've had beautiful weather again. Daffodils popping up on the south side of my house. And then look how green it is again. This is just recently. So there's the end of the year. That's my yard. And look how green it is. And so it was a record high of 63 on Christmas and the day before. I think Christmas and Halloween were flip-flop this year. Crazy. Anyway, that's kind of how it finished out, guys. Just a roller coaster every year, like I said. Overall, though, it was a good one. Much to be thankful for, and look forward to this new year. So, hang in there, you guys. You never know what you're going to face in this business. Weather, equipment breakdowns. Those were the 2 biggest challenges this year. And probably the weather was the biggest. It was just all year long. And, you know, I made it through it. And it makes for learning experiences. You got to kind of just use it as a way of learning, and you're going to face lots of challenges in this business, but you know what? It's going to help you succeed in the long run because you're going to learn from it. So anyway, blessings to all of you in 2020, and we look forward to a great year. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so. Hey, this has been Joffrey with Guth Lawn Care. We'll see you guys hopefully in the future here.